Now, a 120-volt alternating current door holder circuit cannot occupy the same conduit with non-power limited fire alarm circuit conductors. This separation is crucial for several reasons related to safety and proper system functionality. Firstly, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific guidelines on the separation of different types of circuits to prevent interference and ensure the reliable operation of life safety systems like fire alarms. Running these circuits together could lead to electromagnetic interference, or EMI, which can disrupt the fire alarm system's ability to detect and respond to emergencies. Secondly, fire alarm circuits are designed to maintain their integrity even during a fire. They often utilize specialized wiring with specific fire resistance ratings. Combining them with general-purpose circuits like door holder circuits could compromise their ability to function properly under fire conditions. If the door holder circuit experiences a fault or is damaged during a fire, it could potentially affect the fire alarm circuit, leading to system failure. Thirdly, non-power limited fire alarm circuits typically adhere to specific voltage and current limitations to ensure safety and prevent electrical hazards. Door holder circuits, on the other hand, may have different voltage and current requirements. Mixing these circuits in the same conduit could create a situation where the fire alarm circuit is subjected to excessive voltage or current, potentially causing damage or malfunction. Fourthly, consider the potential for ground faults. A ground fault occurs when an unintended electrical path is established between a circuit conductor and ground. If a ground fault occurs in the door holder circuit within the shared conduit, it could create a path of least resistance to ground, potentially diverting current away from the fire alarm circuit. This could reduce the effectiveness of the fire alarm system or even cause it to fail. Fifthly, the NEC addresses the physical protection of conductors. Running different types of circuits in the same conduit can increase the risk of physical damage to the conductors. For example, if the door holder circuit conductors are larger or have different insulation types than the fire alarm circuit conductors, they could rub against each other or against the conduit walls, causing abrasion and insulation damage. This damage could lead to short circuits, ground faults, or other electrical problems. Sixthly, proper circuit identification is essential for maintenance and troubleshooting. When multiple circuits are run in the same conduit, it can be difficult to identify and trace individual conductors. This can make it challenging to perform maintenance, troubleshoot problems, or make modifications to the electrical system. Running separate conduits for different types of circuits simplifies circuit identification and reduces the risk of errors. Seventhly, consider the potential for voltage fluctuations. Door holder circuits may experience voltage fluctuations due to the operation of the door holder mechanism. These fluctuations could potentially affect the fire alarm circuit, causing false alarms or other malfunctions. Separating the circuits helps to isolate the fire alarm system from these voltage fluctuations and ensure its stable operation. Eighthly, the NEC outlines specific requirements for the type of wiring methods that can be used for fire alarm circuits. These wiring methods are designed to provide a high level of reliability and fire resistance. Using a different wiring method for the door holder circuit within the same conduit could compromise the integrity of the fire alarm system. Ninthly, ensure that the conduit fill is appropriate for the conductors in the conduit. Overfilling a conduit can cause overheating, insulation damage, and other problems. When running different types of circuits in the same conduit, it can be difficult to calculate the correct conduit fill and ensure that the conductors are not overcrowded. Tenthly, the NEC provides guidelines on the separation of power-limited and non-power-limited circuits. Power-limited circuits are designed to have a limited voltage and current output, reducing the risk of electrical shock and fire hazards. Non-power limited circuits, on the other hand, may have higher voltage and current levels. Mixing these types of circuits in the same conduit could create a situation where the power-limited circuit is exposed to excessive voltage or current, potentially compromising its safety. To reiterate the specific sections of the NEC that prohibit this practice, we can look at Article 760, which covers fire alarm systems. While there isn't one single sentence that says you cannot put these in the same conduit, the overall intent and specific regulations within Article 760 dictates separation for safety and reliability. For example, Section 760.41 covers wiring methods and materials. This section requires that fire alarm circuits be installed in a specific manner to ensure their integrity and reliability. Mixing them with general-purpose circuits could violate these requirements. Also, Section 760.52 addresses the power source for fire alarm systems. This section requires that the power source be dedicated and reliable, and that it be separated from other circuits. Sharing a conduit with a door holder circuit could compromise the reliability of the power source. Additionally, Section 300.3 of the NEC generally requires that wiring methods and materials be suitable for the environment and conditions of use. Running fire alarm circuits with general-purpose circuits in the same conduit could expose them to conditions that they are not designed to withstand, such as excessive heat or moisture. Another key aspect to consider is electromagnetic compatibility, or INC. Fire alarm systems rely on sensitive electronic components to detect and respond to emergencies. These components can be susceptible to electromagnetic interference, or EMI, from other circuits. Running fire alarm circuits with general-purpose circuits in the same conduit can increase the risk of EMI, which can cause false alarms, system malfunctions, or even system failure. Door holder circuits, while seemingly simple, can introduce electrical noise into the system. This noise can interfere with the low voltage signals used in the fire alarm system to communicate between devices. The fire alarm control panel relies on these clean signals to make decisions about initiating alarms and notifying the fire department. A noisy signal can cause the panel to misinterpret data, leading to unwanted and potentially dangerous outcomes. Furthermore, the life-safety nature of fire alarm systems necessitates redundancy and fault tolerance. This means that the system should be designed to continue operating even if one or more components fail. Running fire alarm circuits with general-purpose circuits in the same conduit can create a single point of failure that could compromise the entire system. For example, if the conduit is damaged or experiences a ground fault, it could affect both the fire alarm circuit and the door holder circuit, potentially disabling the fire alarm system. In addition to the technical reasons for separating these circuits, there are also legal and regulatory considerations. Fire alarm systems are typically subject to inspection and approval by local authorities having jurisdiction, or OJ. These authorities enforce the NEC and other applicable codes and standards. If a fire alarm system is installed in a manner that violates the NEC or other applicable codes, it may not be approved. This could result in delays in occupancy, fines, or other penalties. It is also important to consider the potential liability associated with improper installation of fire alarm systems. If a fire occurs and the fire alarm system fails to operate properly due to improper installation, the installer or owner of the building could be held liable for damages or injuries. Therefore, it is essential to follow all applicable codes and standards when installing fire alarm systems and to ensure that they are installed in a safe and reliable manner. In summary, while there may not be one explicit sentence in the NEC prohibiting the shared conduit, the cumulative effect of the code's requirements for fire alarm system integrity, separation of power-limited and non-power-limited circuits, and the avoidance of interference makes it clear that running a 120-volt alternating current door holder circuit and non-power-limited fire alarm circuit conductors in the same conduit is not permissible. This separation is crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of the fire alarm system, protecting building occupants, and avoiding legal and regulatory issues.